Oh
over the
man,
last
have you
few
seen
days.
all the news? Oh man, the Boeing is crap. The planes are crap. It's just they're falling out of the sky for the past like 5, 7 years. Did you see the documentary on it? I
I
think it's on
didn't know.
Netflix. It's
Is
so
it?
good. Yeah, it shows how it went like public, and then how it like became a obviously it's trading, and how the board just made all kinds of decisions, and they're cutting all kinds of corners for profits. That's why they're
Wow.
falling out of the sky. It's just horrible. It's horrible. Yeah.
Well, I know they've been in the news. There's a lot of problems with them. I've been tracking the stock a little bit, just kind of looking at it, and obviously it's just been beat to hell.
Yeah.
But I don't look at the necessarily like the company itself because I'm just looking at charts. But
Yeah. Yeah.
what I noticed recently on the dailies is it's had this divergence kind of, and it's just in a downtrend. But then it made this newer low on the earnings. So
Yeah.
there was a newer low and a higher low here. So I was like, oh, okay, so this might be getting ready to go. It just had earnings. It got beat to crap. So I
Yeah.
watched it. And then on the hourlies, I noticed again divergence happening here. So this morning, around this time, not even this morning, like 7, 8 o'clock, something like that, uh,
Yeah.
I basically took an options trade here on this candle. I was hoping
Okay.
it wasn't going to continue lower, like continue this being lower,
Yeah.
but it seemed like a pretty good opportunity. It's kind of far away from the moving average on the daily and on the hourly. So I
Yeah.
took an options trade around when it was here. Like this candle wasn't open yet. So I bought a 165, which is up here,
Yeah.
call. And sorry
For
if
which
anybody doesn't know,
expiration?
Friday, tomorrow.
Oh, okay, so this is straight out day trade right here.
Straight day trade. Like, yeah. And look at the move that I had to make from where I bought it. Like this is my strike up here. It was down here.
Yeah.
And it's been just getting beat to crap. So I
Yeah.
bought it up here, and the trade I bought it for like $23,
Yeah.
23 cents, and it was the 165. I bought it for 23 cents.
That's a 10x right there if you would have held it.
It's a 10x, and it actually went to $3 and change.
Jesus.
So if anybody doesn't know options, these it's 265 times 100 because it's 100 shares, so it's $265. I bought it for $23, 23 cents, and went to 265. And when it was way up here, it was at $3.30 or something like that.
Wow.
But from down here, it was I was like, okay, I don't think it'll get there, but I think it'll just move in that direction. So my $23 will turn into like, I don't know, 50, maybe $80.
So how much did you end up locking in?
So right around 165, I'll show you on the 15 minute because you can see it better. So this candle scared me. I didn't like it. It was at
Yeah.
160 or so. This, when it peaked right here, it was at 164 and change or something. I
Yeah.
basically sold it for like a buck 50, so $150. So it went from
Nice.
$23 down here to 150 up here. I sold it. I'm like, I don't want to risk it. I've had it reverse on me too many times. This is
Yep.
a spot for it to reverse. It's kind of
You
like
wanna be
overbought.
you wanna be more right though.
I don't. I want to be more right, but I learned my lesson. I
Yeah.
like. I'm not going to be more right.
Exactly.
Well, lesson learned
Exactly.
because I was right. It just kept
Yeah.
going.
You see, but
So
now you're like, this could have been me. But that's an awesome trade. Like, look at that move. You nailed the bottom basically, like,
yeah,
and it came back above the averages. And then you have two candles that are like basically, what are
these
these
two
called? Yeah, these
dojis.
two doji candles. There we go. You have two fucking one green doji and then a red doji. You're like, forget it. It's gonna reverse. I'm on the same boat with you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm already making like a really good percent here, making $150 out of 20 some $23. I think is what I paid.
And
So
this
I'm
is
making
like,
150, and like I'm not gonna let this thing reverse and just dump on me like it did before because there's resistance here on the daily. You see the top of this candle
yeah,
is right where the top of these candles are. So I'm like, oh, this is just going to reverse and go all the way back down. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to sell it, whatever. And nope, next candle is just all the way up to like
yeah,
$300 here. So my $23 call ended up being like $330. I didn't get all of this move, but I was
yeah.
happy because I got some of it.
Yeah. This is stuff we were
So
talking about earlier where we're just like, Oh, I could have made this much more. And now you're just like, oh, bummer. But
I
this
would
is an
I
awesome
would have
trade.
thought that before. Yeah, I would have thought
Yeah,
like, oh man,
exactly.
I'm a loser because I didn't do
Exactly.
that. But if you look at the conditions, the top of these candles are at basically at the high of the day, not pre-market, but like at market. It's the high of the day. They're
Mm-hmm.
bouncing around at the top. They're not breaking it. So I'm like, I'm not gonna let it reverse and take my profits. I'm better
Yeah.
off just taking profits now because you can't go broke doing that. And I made a really good return. So it's like I'm proud that I sold even though it kept going.
And this
Because
happened what, like in 4 hours? How
yeah,
many
from like
minutes?
8 o'clock, and I sold it around here, so it was like 10 o'clock. So 2 hours,
Jesus. I mean, what else can you
two
ask
hours,
for?
2.5 hours or something.
There we go.
But the trade worked. Like it did what it was supposed to. It was lower low here
Yeah.
from back here, right?
And
And
your indicators are spot on this one. This is like perfect.
this one didn't work out. Like it wasn't indicating everything too well, but I figured it's just been beat up too much. It's at this point,
Yeah.
it's just too much beat up. So I took the trade thinking, okay, it's got to reverse at some point in the day. And it did.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sweet.
it was a really good options trade. I liked it. And I wish I had more of those. Even if I sell up here, like I don't care. Profit is profit.
Yep. Hell
So
yes.
I took that one and still Boeing is still beat up. But it also looks like it's kind of gonna get ready to move as well to the upside. This has a higher low here, but a lower low on the daily. So this actually on the dailies looks like a pretty good trade to the long end.
Are you gonna still trade Boeing next coming days? You think so?
I might do maybe like 1 week out next week.
Yeah.
I only because like there might be some gap here that it'll try and fill, like try and make a move to one of these two moving averages, but they're
Yeah.
kind of expensive. I don't want to get involved too much, but I might. I
Okay.
don't know. I haven't
How,
decided yet.
how'd you find how'd you find it in the morning that you said, "Oh, I'm gonna take this one because of earnings," or what was it that that it stood out for you when you found it?
So I knew that their earnings were coming up somewhere in this area. Like I started watching it somewhere in here. So I'd say a month ago,
Yeah.
because again, it's like it's been in the news, so I've been watching it and kind of looking at it. Um, so somewhere in this area, I started watching it, and I knew their earnings were coming up. So when the earnings came out, it just dumped. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it dumped pretty hard. Like that's a pretty big candle to the
Oh yeah.
downside. But it's already been beaten up down here, and even the big red candle has a higher low on the RSI. So I figured this is getting ready to move up within a day or two. Like it should,
Yeah.
not no guarantee, but it. And then I looked at the hourlies, same operation. Made a lower low. This is looking like it's exhausted to the downside, so it should make a bounce move. Just even a dead cat bounce, like it'll just bounce up. So I
Yeah.
figured, okay, for a small, scalp for one from here today to tomorrow, because they would expire tomorrow. I figured it's good for at least 100% return on the option side.
Intraday.
hmm
Yeah, intraday. You definitely don't want to hold that overnight for tomorrow's expiration.
No, I didn't. I did not.
I mean, you could, but it's super risky.
Well, I
I
mean,
think
look,
you
I'm
put it
buying.
clear
I'm
way.
buying. If you don't look at it, right? If you don't look at those candles that started, like this is what it looked like to me in the morning, and then this is where I get in, and my target's up here. So it's like it has to make a move above the high of the day, these two candles, and basically start recouping some of these losses intraday, like within the day, at the latest tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon, or
Yeah.
before noon. But it has to make this move for me to make anything. And if it happens tomorrow, I'm probably losing just on the IV crush or implied volatility
Mm-hmm.
crush
Just
from day to
overnight.
day. Yeah. So I'm really betting on this, just making a move to like up here to try and get like 100% or something.
Yeah.
And it looks kind of fishy when you look at it that way, but as it played out perfectly. Too perfect,
Yeah.
actually, because I
I
got out
like
too
it.
soon.
I like it. Ah, well done. I like it.
Yeah.
And
So
look,
those are
it got
some
rejected at this chart, at this time frame. Look, and it got rejected where? At the moving average.
at the moving average. Yeah. So on the 1 hour, it's great, but this candle that I sold on the hourly, when you look at it on the 15-minute, it's stressful. It's right in here.
Yeah.
So like this is where the stress comes in, and it's like, do I really want to risk? I paid $23, and I only had one contract. I should have bought two.
Yeah.
That way I could let one run. But I only had one contract, so it's like, okay, do I risk the profit here and let it reverse and take it all back, or do I just take the profit and go home smiling?
And call it a win.
Yeah. So I did,
All right.
but
All
it was a
right.
good trade, and everything played out the way that it was supposed to. You know, one notch for us,
There we go. One for the good guys.
one for the good guys, and let's see, the oil trade's still not doing anything. So yeah, that
Sweet.
was the
A lot of
options trade for
action.
the day.
A lot of action. I like it.